From the Peach State to your screen, the ladies of Atlanta always served drama, shade, and plenty of unforgettable one-liners. So today on Wild Recap, we are catching up with the ladies of Real Housewives of Atlanta from season 1 through 15. Hey, it's Wildflower and welcome back to Wild Recaps. So this catch-up sesh will include some women you kinda know about, NeNe Leakes and Kim Zolciak, and a few you may have forgotten about. But we will talk about each woman who left the franchise and was not on the last season. So that includes NeNe, Kim, DeShawn, and Lisa, plus Cynthia Bailey, Kim Fields, Eva Marcille, Shamari DeVoe, and Sonia Richards-Ross. Let's start with NeNe Leakes. So NeNe was on the show from seasons 1 through 7, then seasons 10 through 12. She is one of the OGs of the show, although not one of my faves. I always felt like NeNe was one of those people who made sure her main gal was someone she could walk all over, like Kim or Cynthia, for example. I don't know if NeNe could stand alone. Plus, when Kandi came on the show, NeNe was hating on her from the jump. All the girl did was show up. Kandi was also the only one to challenge NeNe, and she didn't like that. Well, I would say the first one. She was so jealous of Kandi. NeNe ended up leaving the Real Housewives of Atlanta in 2020 because she allegedly believes she wasn't being treated fairly. She felt she was pushed out of the situation. NeNe filed a lawsuit in 2022 against Bravo, NBC Universal, Andy Cohen, and more, alleging a hostile and discriminatory work environment. That lawsuit, however, was dropped in August of 2022, the same year she filed it. I thought this would be a good time to slip this in here. Now, this video has been done like sometime at the end of last year, and I'm just getting it out to you guys. And since then, things have happened. Like, I just spoke about how NeNe is not a part of Bravo anymore, and there was a lawsuit. But now, as of like 4 days ago, during this recording, she is now back in cahoots with Bravo, and NeNe is going to be on the next season of whatever they have with the Housewives, which is a Housewives road trip show. It's some sort of Housewives show, but with a twist. Now, another reality star, Bethany, is alleging that this show that they're going to have NeNe on is something that she actually pitched, but in so many words is saying that they told her no, and now it kind of seems like they're going with her idea without her. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother video. I just thought it was very important to mention to you all that NeNe Leakes, despite what I just said about the lawsuits, is back on Bravo, or is going to be back on Bravo very, very soon. After leaving the show, NeNe did have a role on the show Glee, which was popping back then. And I don't know if y'all remember, but NeNe even scored another role on a show called The New Normal on NBC, which unfortunately only had 1 season. As far as her personal life, NeNe has gone through a lot. As many of you know, Greg unfortunately passed away in 2021, and she had a health scare with her youngest son in 2022, but thankfully he recovered. NeNe was also in a relationship with Neon Seal. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but this guy, and they've kept their relationship relatively private. Some say it's because he was married. A couple of other things about Miss Leakes is that, one, she opened up a couple of businesses, a lounge and a boutique. Swag Boutique actually came to a close in 2020, as well as the Lenithia Lounge in Duluth, Georgia. Last thing we can't fail to mention is the plastic surgery transformation she had gone through. And I can't lie, NeNe looks great. I hope she's happy. She did say early on Housewives that she would get plastic surgery, and she listed all of the things that she wanted. I believe she started off with a rhinoplasty, but that's all I have on Miss Leakes. On to the next victim. I'm going to take this opportunity to add someone I almost forgot to add, who is the lying lawyer, Phaedra. She's been pretty busy after ATL Housewives. As you all know, she is a go-getter. She's of course a lawyer and has also started a funeral home, and she began that journey while on ATL Housewives, which I thought was really cool. Unorthodox, but a needed service. Phaedra did some interesting things, but they showed her to be more fake than brain dead, you know, like lying about her due date marrying an ex-con as a lawyer, and then him getting caught up in white collar crime again. Not that that's Phaedra's fault, but still doesn't look good next to her. Either way, her time after getting kicked off the Housewives was good. She appeared on plenty reality TV afterwards and had seemed to not skip a beat being in the public eye. Also looking great while doing so. Next is DeShawn Snow. Who? Right. She was on the first season, I don't remember her much either, but she was married to an NBA player, Eric Snow. They unfortunately ended up divorcing in 2010 after 12 years of marriage and 3 sons. In brighter news, DeShawn ended up writing a book titled Lil Shawnee that's meant to empower preteen girls. She also became a licensed real estate agent and has been heavily focusing on health and wellness. She actually lost about 30 pounds after her divorce. Kim Zolciak-Biermann was the only white woman on Real Housewives of Atlanta throughout all the seasons. She left on season 5 when she was pregnant. Kim also got married to ex-pro football player Croy Biermann in 2011. But to my surprise, they divorced in 2023. These two had 4 kids together, while Kim came into the marriage with 2 of her own. Before all that though, Kim did get her own spin-off called Don't Be Tardy, which was a play off of the song that Kandi Burruss wrote for her called Don't Be Tardy for the Party. They had some drama behind that too. Kandi said that Kim and her lawyers tried to either take her out of the deal or give her a much less portion or something like that, which I thought was insane. Next, we have Lisa Wu. Lisa Wu came onto the show married to Ed Hartwell, an NFL player, but I didn't know that she was first married to Keith Sweat and they have 2 sons together. Lisa and Ed divorced in 2011 though. Lisa was on seasons 1 and 2 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and after her time on TV, she explored a few business ventures that are no longer active. She did have roles in a few productions on stage and in film, such as Meet the Browns by Tyler Perry. She co-authored a book titled When the Cake is Made in 2010, and Lisa did actually appear on TV again in 2014 through 16 on Hollywood Divas. Next, we have someone I really liked on the show, Cynthia Bailey. After 11 seasons, Cynthia has focused on acting and has been in a few productions like Cruel Instruction, The Stepmother, Terror Lake Drive, Single Drunk Female, and more. As far as her relationships, we saw Cynthia get married to Peter Thomas, who no one was actually sure they'd actually stay together, not even Cynthia's mother and sister. After that, she married again in 2020 to a man named Mike Hill, who was open with saying that he had never had a relationship that he hasn't cheated in. Needless to say, those 2 divorced in 2022. Another familiar face that graced the Real Housewives franchise is Kim Fields. Yes, from Living Single. Kim only spent 1 season on the show. In interviews, she's mentioned that her decision to exit wasn't born of conflict, though there was some conflict with co-stars like Kenya Moore, but more so wanting to preserve what she had built already and not slide backwards in her career. Kim is still acting. She appears as Regina Upshaw in The Upshaws on Netflix. Now, what I didn't know is that she has directing credits for shows like Kenan and Kel and House of Pain, from way back when, but after Housewives, she went back into working behind the scenes. Kim launched Refresh by KF, a lifestyle and wellness brand. She's held retreats for this brand in Stone Mountain, Georgia. She released a book titled Blessed Life, My Surprising Journey of Joy, Tears, and Tales from Harlem to Hollywood in 2017. It reflects on her career, her faith, and what she's learned. Very long title. Now, I have to admit that I was surprised to see Kim Fields on the Atlanta Housewives, but she said that she was just trying something new, and I'm with that. And I really respect her decision to not ruin her legacy. Also, after her time on Real Housewives, she joined Dancing with the Stars season 22. She didn't win, but she performed reasonably well, and those type of appearances kept her in the public eye. Next, we have someone that I just talked about in my ANTM Where Are They Now video, Miss Eva Marcille. Another person I was shocked but happy to see on The Real Housewives. Before we briefly talk about Eva, please give this video a like if you are having a good time. Eva spent 3 seasons with the Housewives, but left after the 13th season. She said that she wanted to spend more time with her children, focus on her community, and pursue other projects outside of reality TV. Eva said that her time on the show had become too consuming, especially with young kids in diapers, and that her priorities had just shifted. Eva has a couple cannabis-based brands, one for cannabis oils called CVAD, and another brand called Sunflower by Eva. And if you want to know more info on Miss Marcille, please check out part 1 of the America's Next Top Model, Where Are They Now winners video. Now, next is Shamari DeVoe. Didn't know her before her time on the show, but let's get into her business. Now, Shamari is from the girl group Black, who I did know of. But to be honest, I wasn't into them like I was Destiny's Child or anything, Eden's Crush or anything like that. I just knew they existed and a popular song or two. Didn't know the group members' names. Anyways, on the show, Shamari shared storylines about balancing her music career, marriage to Ronnie DeVoe of new addition Belle Biv DeVoe, parenting twin boys, and navigating her public image among the other housewives. Now, she was on the show for season 11 and did not return for season 12. She says for personal reasons, but word on the street is that there was a firing or demotion. For example, reports said that she was offered a friend of role in season 12 rather than a Peach holding full-time spot, which came with much less pay. Shamari has been vocal about how she's felt misrepresented on Real Housewives. Specifically, she said that production and editing portrayed her in a way that made it seem like she was a drunk. She claimed scenes showing more positive aspects of her life, like community work, couple building efforts, and things like that, were edited out. After The Real Housewives, Shamari leaned into other reality TV opportunities. She appeared on BET Presents The Encore, which reunites 90s R&B girl groups. She and Ronnie also appeared together in VH1's Couple Retreat. Lastly, we'll talk about Sonia Richards-Ross. Like I said, everyone else just hasn't been gone long enough or is still on the show. Or people like Candy Burris. She's been on the show for many years, and when she left, she did stuff with Escape, the girl group that brought her into fame. But y'all knew that, right? Right? And just in case y'all didn't know, I will briefly tell you that Candy and Todd have divorced, or actually are going through a divorce. I think because of infidelity. This is interestingly coming after she admitted that those two like to partake in multiple party situations, if you know what I'm saying. So that's very unfortunate because they did have 2 other children together who are small right now. So you know, our hearts go out to Candy for that. In other news, Portia is dating a female. Yes, that's after the one night stand with Hot Dog Man that produced her baby, word on the street, you know, back then, and then getting with his friend who was Simon, and then that whole debacle. Now she is with a she. It's cool and everything. I'm cool with that, but I'm just saying that's what happened. Sheree, another person that was just on there, but you might want to hear about. Yeah, she finally let out She by Sheree. That's all I got for you. Now we can get back into the last person of the video. Now, Sonia Richards-Ross is a former Olympic track and field star. She left the show after season 15, which is pretty recent, but still. Her storyline on the show involved balancing her family life with many other commitments: business, media, motherhood, adjusting to her life after her sports career, and managing dynamics with her husband. During season 15, Sonia revealed that she was pregnant with her second child. Unfortunately, she did suffer a miscarriage around 7 weeks in. She's also had to think very hard about how to share difficult moments, you know? Sometimes I feel like when people share vulnerable things like that on a show, they should get a bonus or something. Because that's a sad, personal moment that they obviously don't have to share. It's a brave decision to do so. Sonia is married to Aaron Ross, former NFL player. And in this year, February of 2025 to be exact, Sonia announced that she and Aaron are thankfully expecting their 3rd child. As far as her leaving the show, she described the exit as a blessing because she had many things that she wanted to do outside of the show that she felt she had already started moving in the direction of anyway. That's all I have on these ATL housewife ladies. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you next recap.